Uh, First of all, what is your professional perspective on the feasibility of implementing UBI in the United States?
UBI is theoretically feasible in the US, but it faces significant political and fiscal hurdles. The main challenge is funding at full scale. UBI would require either massive tax increases or major cuts to existing social programs. For example, Alaska's Primitive Fund dividend shows that small scale basic income is possible, but scaling it nationally while maintaining economic stability is far more complex. Additionally, bipartisan support is lacking. Conservatives view it as wasteful spending, while progressives worry it might replace targeted welfare programs.
Okay, let's come to the second question. What do you see as the most significant economic impact of UBI, positive or negative?
On the positive side, UBI could drastically reduce poverty and income inequality by providing a financial floor for all citizens. It may also simplify welfare bureaucracy and empower people to pursue education or entrepreneurship without fear of destitution. However, the negatives are substantial. Without careful design, UBI could lead to inflation if demand outpaces supply in key sectors. There's also the risk of reduced labor force participation in low-wage jobs, though evidence from pilot programs like Finland's is mixed. Ultimately, the net impact depends on how it's funded and integrated with existing policies.
The third question is, how might UBI affect social dynamics, such as employment motivation or inequality?
Contrary to the myth that free money makes people lazy, most experiments show modest effects on employment. People don't stop working, but they do shift to more meaningful or flexible work. For example, caregivers or gig workers might reduce hours slightly. Socially, UBI could reduce stigma around welfare since it's universal. It might also spark resentment among taxpayers funding it. As for inequality, UBI would immediately narrow income gaps, but without complementary policies like progressive taxation, wealth inequality could persist or even worsen.
The fourth question is, what are the biggest unanswered questions or research gaps in UBI discussions today?
Long-term macroeconomic effects are still unclear. For instance, how would UBI interact with automation-driven job displacement? We also lack data on generational impacts. Will children raised in UBI households have better life outcomes? Another gap is cultural variability. Most trials are in wealthy nations, but would UBI work in developing economies with large informal sectors? Finally, we need more research on the political pathways to implementation. How do we build coalitions to make UBI viable?
Okay, the last question is, how does your expert view differ from public perceptions of UBI?
Public often see UBI as either a utopian cure-all or a socialist threat. In reality, it's neither. Experts debate nuances like funding mechanisms, for example, VAT versus income tax and phase-out rates for high earners. Lay people also overlook trade-offs. For example, UBI might mean fewer targeted programs for homeless populations. Media tends to focus on anecdotes from pilots, but we need rigorous cost-benefit analysis. My view is pragmatic. UBI is a powerful tool, but no substitute for a holistic social safety net.
That's all. Thank you.